What's up, guys? So the all hands rocket retreat event is starting around the world. Let's go through the details and some tips for the event. Timestamps below as always. So this event's gonna be running from April 3rd, 12 a.m. to April 7th, 11:59 p.m. So it's gonna be starting at midnight. This is not the regular time frame. Bonus features of the event: rockets will be appearing more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. They'll pretty much just flood all the Pokestops, and balloons will now come every 3 hours, I believe, if I'm correct. You'll get a balloon above your head every 3 hours, and if you have a rocket radar or a black rocket radar equipped, it's gonna be guaranteed to be either a leader or Giovanni. Also, you can use a charge TM, both elite and regular charge TMs, to remove the attack frustration anytime during this event. We're gonna have the debut of Salandit, which is only gonna be available through 12-kilometer eggs. It's actually gonna be in the rarest tier of 12-kilometer eggs. As you can see, this is gonna be the new egg pool, showing all the new 12-kilometer egg Pokemon. It's gonna be at the bottom there. On top of that, to evolve Salandit into Salazzle, it's gonna take 50 candies, but you can only evolve the female version of Salandit. There's only, I believe, like a 12% or 12.5% chance of Salandit being female upon hatches. So getting a Salazzle in Pokemon Go is gonna be very hard. So you need to hatch one of the rarest 12-kilometer egg hatches and then make sure it's female, and then you can get a Salazzle. We'll talk about if it's any good in a bit, but those Pokemon are going to be making this debut. Giovanni will now have Shadow Latias. So Shadow Latias is coming into Pokemon Go. There's going to be a special research in which you can get access to a Super Rock Raider to battle Giovanni anytime during this event and in the future. So if you want to catch a Shadow Lugia, do it before this event starts, because if not, anytime you battle Giovanni, you're guaranteed a Shadow Latias encounter. The Shadow lineups are going to be switching up. So all the grunts and leaders and Giovanni are getting new Pokemon. To start with the leaders, Sierra is now going to have Shadow Drowsy, which means you can get Shadow Shiny Drowsy. That one is returning. We had that in the past. Then two new Shadow Shinies. We're going to have Arlo, who has Shadow Execute, meaning you can get Shadow Shiny Execute. Cliff will have Shadow Cubone, which means you can get Shiny Shadow Cubone during this event and after. Also, the grunts are switching up Pokemon. We're going to talk about what their new Pokemon are in a bit. We are going to have the introduction of 6 new Shadow Pokemon: Shadow Alolan Rattata, Shadow Alolan Sandshrew, Shadow Alolan Executor, Shadow Sudowoodo, Shadow Girafarig, and Shadow Numel. There's going to be an event bundle in the shop for 1,275 Pokecoins, featuring 10 Max Potions, 10 Max Revives, and 5 Rocket Radars. Honestly, the biggest rip-off box I've ever seen. Do not buy this box. We're gonna have some exclusive research during the event, starting with the field research task. We have the task: defeat 2 Team Rocket grunts will get you either 2 Super Potions or 2 Revives. Catch 3 Shadow Pokemon and get you 750 Stardust. Purify 3 Shadow Pokemon and get you a Sneasel. Sneasel does have a 1 in 64 shiny rate. And defeat a Team Rocket leader can get you a Scraggy. Finally, like we mentioned, there is a special research you can get for a Team Rocket Radar. Again, log in, get this research, and then it won't go away until you complete it. The tasks are on screen. Feel free to pause, check them out. Nothing should be too tough. I'm not gonna read through it because that's like 12 tasks. But one thing to note is on the 3rd page, it does say here you get 15, and this is in game, 15 rocket radars for the leaders from this task. Now, they say this could be an error. Once you get the special research, I recommend doing it as fast as possible to page 3. So in case this is an error and they're gonna fix it, you can get 15 rocket radars, which is actually insane. Shout out to LeakDuck, by the way, for all that info. Let's get into the tips and tricks event, starting with what are the best new Shadow Pokemon, or the best new Shadows from the Shadow lineup. Now, shout out to Sylph Road. They do an amazing job of doing all the research and finding out what each Pokemon has. So I will link below his website. You can come check out all the new Shadow Pokemon on this list. Now, I'm gonna say this list is not complete. There could be things that get added or not because the research is still being done. So in a day or 2, I'm gonna do a full breakdown once all this stuff is confirmed and we can go through the full list. But for now, let's take a look at the list and find out what Pokemon are the best to catch. First of all, we have the Wherever There's Light. There's also Shadow Grunt. This is the Dark Grunt. Shadow Skunky is a good one to grab because Shadow Skunk Tank, a really good pick for the Great and the Ultra Elite. We have the Roar. How Does That Sound Grunt? Can get you a Dratini as always. That evolves into Shadow Dragonite, with Shadow Dragonite one of the best Dragon type rate attackers in the game. And by the way, any of these Pokemon I mentioned here that are good, if you get a good one, be sure to TM it before the end of the event. The Fire Grunt, we have the Shadow Charmander. Shadow Charmander into Shadow Charizard. Shadow Charizard, pretty good fire type rate attacker, and you can use it in the PvP leagues, but I think the regular version is better. Also, you can get Shadow Cyndaquil from this, and Shadow Cyndaquil into Shadow Typhlosion, another good fire type rate attacker. We have the Battle Against My Flying type Pokemon from the Flying Grunt. This can get you a Shadow Murkrow. Shadow Murkrow into Shadow Honchkrow. Shadow Honchkrow is a decent flying type rate attacker, a little squishy and not the greatest, but still something to mention. We have this buff physique isn't just for show. We have the return of Shadow Machop. You guys know Shadow Machamp, the best fighting type rate attacker in the game and great for the Great, Ultra, and the Master League. A very good Pokemon all around. Shadow Machop is one of the go-tos for this event. That's a big W. We have the Don't Tangle With Us, can get you a Shadow Chikorita and the Shadow Cacnea, but the Shadow Chikorita into Shadow Meganium, pretty good for the Great and the Ultra League. You're gonna be frozen in your tracks. Now gets you the new Shadow Alolan Sandshrew. Is Shadow Alolan Sandshrew any good and Shadow Alolan Sandslash any good? Taking a quick look at the rankings, it looks like in the Great League, the Shadow will be a little bit more preferred for the extra Shadow Claw damage. Meanwhile, in the Ultra League, you want to preserve the bulk and use the regular version. So definitely one you could grab. Maybe save for the end of year so you can get the Community Day moves on the Shadow Alolan Sandshrew. Kiki Grunt, which is the Ghost Grunt, gets you Shadow Sableye. You guys know Sableye, best Pokemon in the game. I'm kidding. Shadow Sableye, if you purify it, is a very good Pokemon for the Great League. One of the best, especially in the XL form. The male version of the Water Grunt, so the male one that says these waters are treasures, can get you the Shadow Magikarp. Shadow Magikarp into Shadow Gyarados. Shadow Gyarados, pretty good water type rate attacker, also good in the Master League and the Ultra League. Other version of the Water Grunt, these waters are treasures. Treacherous can get you the Shadow Mudkip. We know Shadow Mudkip into Shadow Swampert, a great water type raid attacker and great for all 3 leagues, similar to the Machamp. By the way, Mudkip is one of those Pokemon you want to TM now because we have the Community Day coming up. So if you can remove Frustration, you could just evolve all your Shadow Mudkips you already saved up during the Community Day on April 10th, I believe, and get a bunch of Shadow Swamperts for completely free. So TM any Mudkips you get during this event or that you had, remove Frustration from them so you can get their legacy moves. We have Let's Rock and Roll Grunt. Shadow Larvitar is gone from there, which is kind of sad, but we do have the new Shadow Sudowoodo in there, which could be good for the Johto Cup if that cup ever comes back. And then finally, the Don't Bother I've Ever D1. Get ready to be defeated or winning is for winners. The Elite Grunt, aka Typeless, can get you the Shadow Snorlax. Shadow Snorlax, good pick for the Great, Ultra, and the Master League. So yeah, obviously this list is not complete. Some Pokemon we're gonna learn that we can get more of, but those are the general ones I would start looking for, and then stay tuned for my video in which we break down everything. It seems like we did lose some good Shadows from the pool, like Shadow Larvitar and Shadow Swinub, but we did gain some. Shadow Machop is back, and Shadow Mudkip is still in there, which is great. Also, quickly before I move on, a lot of people are gonna ask me which one of the leader Pokemon are the best to go for. The only meta-relevant one here would be the Shadow Drowsy. Shadow Hypno is a pretty good Great League Pokemon, more so for special cups like the Kanto Cup, but still, that's probably the most meta-relevant one. The other two, however, are new Shadow Shiny, so, you know, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to hunt what you want. The Shadow leaders are pretty bad right now, but Sierra is the only one with a meta-relevant one. Now, of course, Salazzle is making its debut in Pokemon Go. Is it good? Let's check it out right now. Salazzle is a Poison and Fire type Pokemon. Has a base attack of 228, base stamina of 169, and base defense of 130, with a max CP of 2,802. For fast moves, it can learn Incinerate and Poison Jab, and for charge moves, it can learn Poison Fang, Fire Blast, Dragon Pulse, and Sludge Wave. So very good moveset. As far as raids goes, Salazzle won't be good. Its stats just kind of hold it back. Best DPS as a fire raid attacker is 12.97, and as a poison type raid attacker, 13.62. Now for PvP, Salazzle has some potential. Now since it's only from 12 color eggs, you can't get PvP IVs on this Pokemon. However, running the moveset of Incinerate, Poison Jab, and Dragon Pulse, or Poison Jab, Poison Fang, Dragon Pulse, depending on what coverage you want, Salazzle can destroy fairy type Pokemon, which is 4 times resistance to charm. It's gonna be ranked 246 in the Great League, so not amazing, and 186 in the Ultra League, fully XL. It won't see much play in the open metas because of the coverage issue against Psychic types. However, in limited cup metas like the Halloween Cup, this Pokemon will be deadly. It's gonna be ranked 35 in the Halloween Cup, and I could see it even having play in other cups where poison and fire type Pokemon are allowed. So yeah, Salazzle seems like it's gonna be a pretty good pick for some special cups, but in the open metas it will struggle. This Pokemon was gonna be pretty meta breaking, but they actually did remove Foul Play from its moveset like at the last second. So unfortunately, it did get a last second nerf. Now we do have the new Shadow Latias, and a lot of people have been asking me, hey, Shadow Latias actually worth spending a raid pass on? Is it good? Now, Latias has never really been good for PvP. It doesn't really have a great moveset all in all, but we'll take a look at it here in the Great League. In the Great League, terribly ranked in the 500s. In the Ultra League, ranked pretty bad as well. In the Master League, probably where it sits best, still pretty bad, 127, 140. Honestly, a pretty garbage Pokemon. The Shadow Latias is not great, but what about for raids? Taking a look at the Shadow Latias, the best DPS it's gonna get is as a Dragon type raid attacker. Dragon Breath Outrage, DPS of 17.5. As a Psychic type raid attacker, Zen Headbutt Psychic, you're looking at 17. Now, if we wanna compare that to other Dragon type raid attackers and see how good it sits there, we're gonna see Pokemon, of course, like we talked about the Shadow Dragonite earlier, Shadow Salamence, reaching DPS is like 20, 22. Even regular Rayquaza reaches a DPS of 18.68. Shadow Latias is gonna be back here, like behind, just in front of Zekrom, regular Dragonite, Garchomp. So it's still good, but I still don't think it's worth an investment because this is a Shadow Legendary. It is one of the most expensive Pokemon to invest into. And if a simple Pokemon that had a community like Garchomp is a little bit worse than it, I would rather go with the Garchomp. We're talking about Psychic. Mewtwo has always destroyed the Psychic type class. Shadow Mewtwo Destruction, DPS of 25.4. If you want to look for Shadow Latias, where is it going to be? It's going to be over here, pretty much in front of Espeon for DPS. So not amazing. It does have more TDO and DPS times TDO than Espeon, but still, you're going to see Pokemon like Alakazam do better than it. I don't think it's good enough to argue an investment into this super expensive Pokemon. You're spending so much dust and Latias candy, which is not easy to come by. I would much rather you guys put in your candy into a regular Latias that you can use maybe for the Mega when that comes out. So honestly, I would probably hold my radar and then just don't complete that stage of the special research where it requires you to defeat Giovanni. Just hold on to your radar until it's going to be a while. It's probably going to be another 3 months, and then we're going to get Shadow Latios, and then another 3 months. So it's probably going to be 6 months. So if you can hold on to your radar for 6 months until we get maybe some potentially like Shadow Rayquaza or something like that. If you're OCD and you just want to complete all your researches, then go for it. But I wouldn't say Shadow Latias is the best. If you do decide to catch Shadow Latias though, make sure you catch it during weather boost. Latias gets boosted in windy weather. So once the weather is windy in game, that's when you want to battle Giovanni, because that means you're going to be catching your Shadow Latias 5 levels higher and your IVs will generally be higher. So be sure to wait for weather boost because you can save a little bit of Stardust and hopefully get a little bit of better IV set. Now, since you do have the option to TM Frustration during an event, I'm definitely going to recommend you guys tag your Pokemon for Frustration going into the event. Be sure to run through your Pokemon Pokemon storage, look at all your Shadow Pokemon, decide which ones are good, which ones are not, and then go ahead and tag them with the tag Frustration. You can go ahead quickly through once the event starts and just scroll through them and remove Frustration from all those Pokemon. If you want to know what Pokemon you have that no Frustration, search at Frustration into your Pokemon storage. Now, if you have some Shadow Pokemon from the past that I didn't mention in this video and you're wondering if they're good or not, I will link below my video breaking down every single Shadow Pokemon and the best ones in the game. So if that's something you're curious, check that out below. Now, you need 35 Platinum Medals to go from level 48 to 49. As always, let's run through what Platinum Medals are going to be the best to grind during this event. This event is all about those Team Rocket Platinum Medals. First of all, the Hero Medal, defeat 200 Team Go Rocket members. Grind those Team Rockets. They're going to be very common. I just recently Platinumed this one, so this is a great one to complete. We also have the Purifier Medal, purify 1,000 Shadow Pokemon. I'm going to throw on screen all the Shadow Pokemon that require 1,000 Stardust per Purify. These Pokemon that are on screen right now, those are the ones you're going to want to look out for from Team Rocket Grunts, all that stuff, and use those ones to purify because you can save a lot of Stardust purifying Pokemon. On the topic of purification though, I do want to mention Shadow Numble is one of those new shadows. I didn't say if it was good or not because honestly Shadow Camerupt, not good, doesn't have a great moveset, but this is actually one of those Pokemon you can consider purifying because Camerupt does have a Mega in the future, so if you can purify into 100% IV Numble, use that for the Mega in the future, you're going to be a lot better off than keeping it as a Shadow form. And that's about it for the tips, guys. If you have any other tips that I missed that you want the community to know, let me know below in the comment section. Also stay tuned tomorrow in which I will cover counter guides on Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo, and Giovanni if you're wondering how to beat those 4 people with their lineups. We're just still waiting on the confirmed official lineups. And then also, of course, my video breaking down the full Team Rocket Grunt pool so you can find out what Shadow Pokemon are available now and not after this switch up. That's it though. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Good luck during the Team Rocket event, guys, in Pokemon Go, and follow for more tips for one. Peace.